Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langate Girim Yatrupa Tamham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarine. Hare Krishna. So today we will see verse number 41 of the chapter 4th, which is transcendental knowledge. So let us chant the shloka. Yoga sanyasta karmanam
Yoga sanyasta karmanam
jnana satchinna samshayam
jnana sanchinna samsayam
atmavantam na karmani
atmavantam na karmani
nimandanti dhananjaya.
nibatnanti dhananjaya.
Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchina samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibandhanti dhananjaya. Please chant the shloka.
Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samsayam atmavantam na karmani nibatnanti dhananjaya.
योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्चिन्नसमस्यम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निवर्तन्ति धनञ्जय.
Anyone else? Okay, so the translation and purport. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of the work, no conqueror of riches. Purport. One who follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita as it is imparted by the Lord, Supreme Personality of God Himself, becomes free from all doubts by grace of transcendental knowledge. He, as a part and parcel of the Lord, in full Krishna consciousness, is already established in self knowledge. As such, he is undoubtedly above bondage of action. So, we see Krishna explained in last couple of shlokas about transcendental knowledge. If you have faith, who receives the knowledge, if with faith, but if person is faithless in the scriptures, he does not go upwards, but he fall downs to more ignorance. And if the doubt is there, you cannot be happy in this world, in this life or in the next life. Because of the doubts, you will not do activities which make you for the qualified for the spiritual knowledge. So you will be in the ignorance. So this life and next life both are going to be difficult. Right now, Krishna is telling this shloka is so yoga sannyasta karmanam. So here sannyasta karmanam means sometimes some people say that, oh, I have to renounce the karma. But karmanam means the results of the action. So, so what you have to do, give up the results of your action, and by this you do yoga. or you do karma yoga, you connect with the Lord. So you give up the fruits of your action, and by this you can connect with the Lord and don't get entangled in the fruits of the action. And with the help of jnana, chinna samshayan, by the knowledge, destroy or remove all the samshaya, doubts. So we have to remove the doubts. Uh, and by this, what will happen? Atmavantam. So you will be situated in the self. Na karmani nibandanti dhananjaya. So in that case, I will not be bound by the karma, because karma is the binding, or the results of the karma are the binding force. When you are attached to the results, then you become the doer. And once you become the doer, you suffer the results. But if you are not attached to the results, you are not doer. So then there is chance of um, getting out of the bondage of the karma. So very interestingly, this is the second last sloka, I think, of this chapter. So Krishna till now explained all the glories of the uh, transcendental knowledge, how it takes you out of this material world, and how it destroys all your doubts, how it destroys all your ignorance, and how by this knowledge, the most sinful of all the sinners can be delivered to the highest perfection. And by this, you can cross over the illusion. So Krishna till now has explained the glories of this transcendental knowledge, that by approaching spiritual master you can get this knowledge, right? So now, with the flow of the chapter, we'll think that okay, so now jnana is very important. So once you get the transcendental knowledge, you can get free from karma, and you can have higher destinations, and so naturally, but in this shloka, Krishna is also using the word yoga. So we have to connect with the Supreme. How? By the devotional service. So when we are not attached to the results, then we connect with the Supreme. And if you don't have connection, then you are not, then you are attached. And connection with the Supreme can be established by jnana. So yesterday we saw that some doubts, in the doubting soul, there is no happiness. So we also saw that uh, there will be doubts. So doubts can be removed, or doubts can be ignored for a time being. So doubts that are not so important, we can eliminate them. But some doubts which can be solved by time. So by the maturity, or the way, or the more the knowledge we get, the doubts, the more the knowledge are the doubts are destroyed. So sometimes we have to go along with the way by holding on that. Holding on means just keeping aside the doubts for the time being, because you cannot say that forget all the doubts. But if I have some doubt in my mind, I need to do something with that doubt. Otherwise, I cannot forget that doubt. You cannot just say, okay, uh, remove that doubt from your mind. How anybody can remove that doubt? Has to be something higher that removes that doubt. But sometimes we notice that it requires a particular level of consciousness to understand few things which remove these doubts. So this happens with the time. So Krishna has said that if you have faith, you will get this knowledge in quick time. In the 39th shloka, Shraddhava Labde Jnana. So in that end part, uh, Shantim Acharine Adigachanti. Acharine, so quickly. So we have to get knowledge, and then quickly the doubts will be destroyed. So Arjuna, who is not ready to fight, Krishna is telling Arjuna that You do your dharma, you do your karma of fighting. Don't get attached to the result if you will win the battle or you will lose the battle. That is not at all your part. That is the part you forget that. And the doubts that has arisen in your mind about killing or fighting with your relatives or friends, remove that doubts by the higher knowledge, situate in the self. Once you are Atmavantam, when you are situated in the self, then you also understand the relationship with the Supreme Self. In that situation, Arjuna or Dhananjaya, who has conquered all the wealth before the war of Kurukshetra also. So he's saying, don't get um distracted by these doubts. Mm, You fight. Uh, so in this shloka, Krishna is not telling about fighting, that he will tell in the next shloka. But in this shloka, he is telling by the jnana, you remove your doubts and connect with the Supreme. Just he is telling this up to this level. The next shloka is the next level, which is exactly opposite of this. Mm. So, by the flow of Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that Krishna is taking the conversation to much higher level, and a higher level in such a way that now Arjuna should get some doubts after the next shloka. mm, That now here he is telling sannyasya karma. So, and he is also glorifying the knowledge. Uh, but the next shloka is exactly opposite, which is very interesting context, like how the flow is changing, and that creates more doubts in Arjuna's mind. So he will ask the questions which give, which take us to the next chapter. Mm. But this chapter is basically glorification of knowledge. But we have to understand this knowledge also Krishna is giving, and nowhere he has said that Arjuna give up your uh, duty or give up karma. He's saying yoga sanyasta karma. So he's saying give up the results of your karma. He's never said that give up your karma. So some people, while reading this sloka, they say, "Oh, Krishna is saying connect with the supreme, sanyasta karma, give up the karma." But it's not like that. So Krishna has never said give up your karma. That's instruction to Arjun and that instruction to us also. So we have to live in this world. We have to do our duties. We have to do our dharma. But the true mystic yogi or true mystic is he who gives us the results. And by this, even if he acts in this world, he is not acting. Even if he does several actions, is not bound by the actions. So that's the trick of the skill of doing the work or karma. So live in this body, but you are not in this body. So these teachings are uh, interesting to hear theoretically, but not so easy to apply in our life because we somehow or other, indirectly or directly, are attached to the results of your work or our work or my work also. Because when we put hard work in anything, we expect results. That's a natural tendency that we have. But this Bhagavad Gita wisdom or this knowledge, that transcendental knowledge, what we are studying in this chapter, we should remember or try to remember when we do all the actions. And the main knowledge is we are not body, but we are the soul. Right? So that is our real knowledge. And if we can remember that, and we try to notice how we are attached to the results, then slowly, our consciousness increases. And our consciousness goes to a higher level where we can notice that how much we are attached to different activities or different things of this world and how they are binding us. And Krishna's instruction is sannyasya karma. So that we have to do. So this is all knowledge, and what Krishna is telling yoga is related to karma yoga because Krishna has not directly introduced bhakti till now. He has said in this chapter that Mai, surrender to me, give all your results to me. Uh, but the more part of the bhakti that will come, he has not introduced in full fledged. So let us see tomorrow what will be Krishna's instruction when he is telling here yoga sanyasta karmanam. So there must be some instruction when Krishna is telling that give up the results of your work. So let us see what Krishna instructs Arjuna in the next shloka that we'll see tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any comments or any points anybody wants to add? Okay, thank you very much for joining and giving this opportunity to read and discuss. So we'll see tomorrow what Krishna will instruct to Arjuna after giving all this transcendental knowledge. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.